Alright, so we're now looking at our second mod, which occurs just after the events of the Icarus Mod. This one's going to be set in 281 BC. Just after the Battle of Coropedium, so where Seleucus defeats Lysimachus, basically takes all of his holdings in Asia Minor. The mod is actually surnamed Icarus, or it's titled Icarus, after the Greek myth of Icarus flying too close to the sun and falling from the sky. So after this battle, Seleucus not only had control of all of Asia Minor, but he had claims on Thrace, and Thrace had occupied the Macedonian kingdom all the way up to Pella, although the Antigonid holdings in the southern region of Macedonia were minor. But basically, Seleucus was very close to reuniting the empire, lacking really only Egypt. And then he was assassinated by one of the Ptolemies, not the ruling one, but one of his brothers, who he had taken in his court as a refugee. Why this occurs, possibly due to some a promise that Seleucus had made about this Ptolemy getting to rule one of the other kingdoms as a client state. We don't really know the motive, but he's the ruler. He assassinates Seleucus. So I think, so Seleucus is already dead when this starts. We're in 281 BC. His son Antiochus is ruling this grand Seleucid empire, and Thrace is actually held by this Ptolemy Karanos, who I just mentioned. So that's the narrative of the story, is that after assassinating Seleucus, he flees to Thrace. One of the reasons why Antiochus doesn't just go and attack this Ptolemy Karanos is he has to deal with internal issues. So this massive empire now, I think he faces Cappadocia was wanting to revolt. They did revolt Cappadocia, maybe even Armenia. I'll have to go back and check. Revolt. There's some problems in the east, and then the ruling Ptolemy Philadelphos, he attacks and takes some bits of Syria. I think he ends up taking Damascus, so Damascus is currently in the Seleucid area. Ptolemy ends up taking this, and then maybe parts of Cilicia. The whole Cilician region is really doesn't have sources that are very consistent about who has it what when. But basically, Antiochus can't reunite the empire. He's busy doing other stuff. Those are all potential flavor events that I could add as the mod currently stands. We just have a map painted over so that players can kind of maybe you want to play the Seleucids and have a quick reunification of Alexander's empire, or maybe you want to be Egypt and fight this monstrosity. One flavor event that I would be really intrigued of adding that would probably be difficult to do so would be the Celtic invasion that occurs starts about 4 years after this start date. So they cause so many first off, Ptolemy gets killed in the fighting. They end up ravaging Macedonia, which then sets it up for Antigonus Gonatus, which is the son of Demetrius, the son of Antigonus from the vanilla game. He'll end up taking this back in history. I think the rest of the Thracian kingdom is really just in ruins. In fact, I think this Antigonus will end up taking all the way this coastline. As for northern Thrace, it becomes barbarian again. But the Celts are also going to ravage on here, and then they'll finally settle here and create this new nation called Galatia, as in Gauls. But I don't have that in the game currently. It would be I just built that other mod, and events take a little bit more time debugging. So as of now, we have a painted map, and I might even just create another painted map a few years after, maybe 10 years after this, so that the dust is kind of settled in the terms of those map changes that I just described. So here we are, an Icarus map starter for those that are interested.